Good morning, good afternoon, good evening or good night whenever this video is being watched. Welcome back to Roblox Aeronautica where we finally test the Warning Star, EC-121 Warning Star. I was planning to use the webcam, but the recording was that daunting I switched to another method. The speed was so slow it would have been a 3-hour recording about a surveillance job wherein jet-powered Awacs needs 1.5 hours to finish, and the SR-71 and T4 Sotka in just 35 minutes. So that already gives away how slow this Awacs is. The Warning Star is a newly added Awacs. I spoke with some guys I met in a game about it, and we all thought it would be an AEW. Just like the Saab 2000 REI and just like the Northrop E2D Hawkeye. But no, the Warning Star is classified as an Awacs. Just like the Boeing E767, just like the Tupolev Tu-156, just like the Tupolev Tu-214R, and of course the Beriev A50. That's the class where the Warning Star is added to. Now the big question already is this thing worth it to own? Is it worth to fly it? Is it worth to use for grinding? I basically gave away the speed, and this plays a very crucial part. So let me add on to that to begin with. As you can see in this clip, I had to fly 30 minutes to literally get between Novoarovsk AFB and Eisenart AFB. That is 30 minutes for just a bit more than 100 Newton meters. And I had to do more than 300 in total. And that was just for the way towards the waypoints. I had to go the same distance back. So I'll let the mathematics for you to decide. That's also the reason why I split the videos in several cuts. For one, it made the editing much easier, and secondly, this is more bearable for you guys to watch. Raw cut would have been a hell for you guys, and for me too. Alright, for this part we are going to speed it up a notch, or maybe two, because this was the most grueling part so far, the waypoints, which somehow seemed further away. But it gives me time to also come to the plus sides. One of the plus sides is the range. This thing is very economical. I even added some additional wingtip fuel tanks and even aerodynamic propeller cones. The cones make sure I have one single knot of speed missing in both max speed and stall speed. Max speed is reduced to 259 knots and stall speed on 130 knots. While the extra fuel tanks give a bit more range, 29 to be exact. This gives a bit more guarantee that you can do surveillance with just one fuel stop. On jet engines it's an expensive gamble when you miscalculate that, but on the Warning Star you can afford that. So on range, the Warning Star is a huge win. It is the most economical Awacs so far. Another plus side, due to the lack of speed, is how easy it will be to epic status this thing, and how many UP you can grind out of it. The longer the job, the more UP you end up with. I ended up with quite a lot, which I will review at the end. The bad side about this range but slow speed, it's just enough to get home safe. It takes a huge toll on the plane's condition. As it was just as bad as the MQ-1 Predator drone, you wouldn't have made it back in one piece. Then surveillance from Linwood JAFB would have been a better solution. Tomfoolery is just enough for the warning star, however it is still risky when the distance increases. The speed is the main problem on the warning star. The very slow speed makes a job like this look like it takes forever. Waypoints look so far away yet so close. With an E-767 for example, or the Barry F or one of the Tupolovs, this would have been a blink of an eye. And I haven't mentioned the Sotka or the SR-71 yet. Waypoints are always the easiest thing to do. It's always nice when you have traveled the whole distance to finally clip the plane into initial position and go after the waypoints. However, on the warning star I had to spend around 10 minutes on the waypoints alone. I love making hours in the game and I'm not afraid to put in some extra work for a much less worth payment, so it says enough when I'm the one criticizing this. It's just safe to say you're glad when the surveillance is done with this one. Where I found comfort and also for my own sanity, I was already looking for some fun. I had some fun using the Awacs ping. That just happened to be a E-767 from another server, from another player from another server, who did a surveillance close where I had to be, and on the way back he flew I think 10k above me, and yeah, it was at the same time kind of embarrassing very embarrassing to see the difference in speed. And yep, it was finally pit stop time. This was also the point where my warning star started to act strangely by tipping up and repeating that by takeoff. It literally instantly launched. Finally, finishing this flight was near. These last couple minutes on the video will be filled with a final conclusion from my side, and it's not very positive, I can tell you guys that much. It is quite literally a smaller more useless brother from the E-767. And why the E-767 in particular? Because the E-767 has now second place on range. The other Awacs, both the Tupolevs, the Beriev, have a much shorter range. Also a much lower surface ceiling. Also, the Warner Star has the same surveillance meaning as all the others, but also the same payments. Where on a E-767 you spend 1.5 hours for a full surveillance job for, let's say, 120k, the Warner Star has those same amounts of payments, but literally double the time. So instead of 1.5 hours for 120k, for the same 120k you double it to 3 hours. So I'll let you to decide if it's worth it or not. My expectations were very high when I saw it would be added, because I love using Awacs in the game. It is my personal favorite way of grinding. SR-71 is a big WP grinder. Same counts for the Sotka, the T4 Sotka, or a fighter jet with surveillance jobs, who has also surveillance jobs available. The UP is tougher on these. Awacs like the E-767 are good for both WP and UP. It takes a bit longer, but it's bearable. The Warner Star is just too much for what you get at the end. It is not even close to bearable, it is taunting. I also was hyped for the MIL Mi-8 helicopters. In my video about them, I explained how I also had high expectations for these helicopters and how they didn't match those expectations. Well, after making this video, I look back at both the MIL Mi-8s with much more gratitude. The Warner Star is even worse and doesn't motivate to do surveillance jobs to begin with. Just a nice piece of history, but literally useless in the game. After landing, my condition was bad. Literally bad, very close to air unworthy. This is also why I said it's a risk when you go even further on distance. I saw once a jump for the Warner Star for 400 Newton meters with a reward tag of 140k. This was soon after I bought the needed constellation and after converting into the Warner Star. I'm so glad I didn't do that, because this will make the nicest gamers on Aero into rage quitters. When after all this spent of time the plane would explode. Just imagine all that work, all those hours spent, and literally on the last part of the flight, literally on the way back, near the end, your plane would explode. It would be heartbreaking. It's not worth the risk to push it further on distance, like I said. The only risk you can safely take is the one stopper for refuel. It has some plus sides, but the low speed is too much overshadowing and has too much influence on the plane as a whole. Once again, good range, perfect for your peak grinding, but not worth the payments. You get literally the same payments with what I already mentioned, and yeah, the Warner Star's condition comes at a very high risk at the end. So yeah, this is the first time me actually butchering a plane in Aero, which is something I don't usually do. I always check for plus sides. I'm not that much into bad sides, but I also have to be honest, when something is that terrible as the Warner Star in this case, I have to be critical of my opinion. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching for this one. If you like this one, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications to not miss out anything. You know the drill. Check check down the socials via the links in the description down below. On my left you can see 2 videos, and of course on my right the 2 subscribe buttons for the main channels. I would say I see you guys back next week. Bye bye.